associated with the 20 items. Now the other kind of construct is called as a formative construct. Okay, formative construct or causal indicators or causal indicator model. Now if you see, compared to this model, in this model, the arrows are going from observed to the latent. So x1, x2, x3, x4, and then you have the loadings gamma 11, gamma 12, gamma 13, gamma 14, and then there is an error associated with the latent factor. So what does it mean? All indicators cause, underline this word cause, and that is why they are called as causal indicators. They are causing this latent factor. In this case, these observed were being caused by the latent. Here the latent is being caused by the observed items. Okay. Now because this can exist independently, x1 can exist independently, x2 can exist independently, x3 can exist, they are not caused by the same source. X1 has a different source, x2 has a different source, x3 has a different source, x4 has a different source. So there is no necessity or there is no guarantee that x1 will be correlated with x2 or with x3 or with x4. Similarly, x2 may not be correlated with any of these. And therefore, please again underline that we will never test reliability for formative constructs or formative indicators. What are the examples? And because all four of them are causing the latent, if I drop x3, what will happen? I am dropping one of the sources, one of the causes of this. So I am actually missing out on the contribution of x3. And therefore, in a formative construct, formative indicators, you should not drop any of these items. So dropping of items is not allowed. Okay. For example, socioeconomic status. Socioeconomic status. What is socioeconomic status? Socioeconomic status is a measure of the background of an individual. So socioeconomic status is determined by father's income, mother's income, father's education, mother's education, right? In general. So let's say there are four indicators: father's, mother's income, father and mother's education. Now, all four of them are important in contributing to the socioeconomic status here, right? So this is SES, right? And all four of them contribute to determine what is SES. If I drop any one of them, then I'm actually losing out on the contribution of that. So actually this SES does not have any theoretical sense here. Theoretical meaning. It is only a combination of the four that we give a name SES. So therefore, you should neither drop any items, you should neither test reliability in that, right? So in a formative indicators or formative models, validity and psychological meaning cannot be judged from its item covariance because there is no necessity for them to covary. Father's income may not be correlated with mother's income at all. Mother may be a housewife, father may be working. So there is no correlation there, right? So there is no meaning to be judged from item covariances. And these models can actually not be estimated also. They can only be estimated if you have an external criteria. That means if this formative indicator is causing this construct is causing something, right? It is causing something else, or then only it can be estimated. Otherwise, this cannot be estimated, right? And it is statistically under-identified in isolation only when embedded in causal model that includes, as I mentioned, consequences of latent constructs can the model be estimated. So actually for our work, the kind of constructs that we are working, uh, we are we usually are not bothered about formative constructs because we are not developing skills, or if you are developing skills, the kind of analysis that we study, factor analysis or reliability testing, do not apply for formative indicators, right? So remember the difference between formative and reflective. More kind of work that we do, more and more are reflective constructs. There are few that we uh, have as formative indicators.